You don't get your patch with a handshake. You get it when they decide you're useful enough to be dangerous to yourself. The leather sits heavier on your shoulders than you expect. The weight isn't the jacket. It's the promise stitched into it. You stand in a quiet back room of a roadside clubhouse that smells like oil, coffee, and old smoke. No ceremony. No speeches. Just a nod from a man everyone calls Doc even though he's not a doctor. A small blade flashes. A thread is cut. Your old prospects patch is gone. The new one is sewn in its place. Full member. Inside, you smile because that's what you're supposed to do. Inside, something in you locks. Before this, your life is simple in the way small towns are simple. You work at a freight depot by the highway, nights mostly, unloading crates you never ask about. You ride on weekends because the road is the only place your head gets quiet. Your dad dies when you're 17. Your mom moves to another state with a new husband. You stay because staying feels like control. The club finds you the way storms find open water. A flat tire outside their bar. A borrowed wrench. A beer you don't pay for. Weeks of showing up, listening more than you talk. They like that you don't brag. They like that you can fix engines and keep your mouth shut. Prospecting is humiliation disguised as loyalty. You sweep floors. You run errands. You ride in the back. You learn faces, names, rhythms. Who drinks black coffee at 2 a.m.? Who never touches his phone around certain men? You tell yourself it's a community. It feels like one. The call comes 2 nights after you get your patch. 11:43 p.m. Unknown number. The voice is calm. Familiar. Need you to swing by the garage. Quiet. The garage isn't the public one. It's the storage bay behind the scrapyard where the club keeps bikes that don't exist on paper. The door is half open. The lights are low. Doc is there. So is a woman you've seen once before, never spoken to. She's in her 40s. Clean boots. Not club. Doc doesn't waste words. Welcome to the family, he says. Families help each other. You nod. Your chest tightens. The woman slides a phone across the workbench. On the screen is your address. Your truck. A timestamp from yesterday. There's another photo. You at the depot clocking out. We don't do surprises, Doc says. We do expectations. You feel the room shrink. You try to keep your face neutral. Your mind does the math faster than your mouth can keep up. They tell you about a courier run. Not drugs. Not weapons. Paperwork. Motorcycle titles. VIN corrections. DMV stuff. Boring, Doc says. The woman adds, we need it moved tonight. 2 envelopes. 1 drop. You think about saying no. The word rises and dies in your throat. The leverage isn't shouted. It's set on the table like a glass of water. The woman mentions your mother's new town in passing. The name of her street. Doc mentions the depot's cameras. How sometimes footage gets lost. No one here wants problems, Doc says. We just don't like loose ends. You take the envelopes. They're thin, light, ordinary. That's what scares you. The first task is small enough to feel like a test. You ride your bike because it's expected. The route is precise. No highways. 2 turns you wouldn't choose on your own. You're told to stop at a print shop that closed 3 years ago. The lights will be on in the back. You knock twice. Pause. Once more. A man opens the door just enough to see your patch. He doesn't look at your face. He looks at your shoulder. He takes the first envelope. Hands you a receipt you don't need. You don't ask what's in it. You don't want to know how titles move through closed shops at midnight. The drop is a motel room with the curtains drawn. The second envelope slides under the door. You leave without knocking. Your hands don't stop shaking until you're 2 miles down the road. They pay you the next morning. Cash in a plain envelope. More than your week at the depot. Doc claps you on the shoulder like this is a promotion. Good work, he says. You're one of us now. You tell yourself you're not. You tell yourself you did paperwork, not harm. You deposit the cash at 3 different ATMs because that's what you think smart people do. The jobs stack. A pickup here. A delivery there. You learn to count steps. You learn which roads the local patrol avoids at night. You learn that the woman's name is Mara and that she never raises her voice. Months pass. The tasks change shape. Packages get heavier. Instructions get more specific. You're taught how to switch plates in under 30 seconds. How to spot a tail without looking like you're looking. How to burn a phone without burning yourself. The money grows. So does the silence around you. Friends at the depot stop inviting you out because you always have somewhere to be. You stop going to your mom's state because travel means questions. The The turning point comes on a rainy night. You're told to move a bike from the scrapyard to a warehouse on the river. The bike is hot. You know it the moment you touch the grips. The VAN is shaved. The ignition is clean in a way clean isn't. Halfway there, blue lights bloom in your mirrors. Not close, not fast. You keep steady. You don't run. The training kicks in. Calm hands, slow breath. The patrol car peels off at the next exit. Relief hits you like a wave. Then you see the warehouse door is open when it shouldn't be. Inside, there's a body on the concrete. Not blood everywhere, just wrongness. A man you recognize from the print shop. The one who took your envelope the first night. Mara steps out of the shadows. Her boots make no sound. Change of plans, she says. We can't leave witnesses. You understand what she's asking before she finishes the sentence. Your mouth goes dry. You shake your head once. It's small. It feels like a lifetime. Doc's voice comes through the speaker in the corner. We're not asking, he says. We're making sure you're not a problem. You don't do it. You set the keys on the floor. You back away. The consequence is immediate, not violence. A message arrives on your phone. A video. Your truck in the depot lot. Someone loosening lug nuts. A second video. Your mom's front door from across the street. Mara's face doesn't change. You can walk, she says. You just can't take anything with you. They let you leave the warehouse. They don't take your patch. That's the trick. The patch is the leash. For weeks, you try to exit quietly. You stop answering calls. You change your route home. You sleep with the lights on. Doc leaves a coffee on your truck hood one morning. No note. You hear his voice in the steam. A false exit appears in the shape of an offer. Mara says there's a job out of town. One last run. After that, you can cool off. New face, new name. It sounds like mercy. It smells like a box. You agree because saying no has already been priced. The route takes you to a coastal city you've only seen in postcards. You're supposed to deliver a ledger to a man who runs logistics for the docks. Paper again. Always paper. At the drop, the man looks at your patch and then at your eyes. He hesitates. Just a beat. In that beat, you see yourself reflected in the glass behind him. Leather. Stubble. Someone you don't recognize. The ledger changes hands. The door closes. You walk back to your bike and realize your phone is gone. That's the moment it flips. Not because you're brave, because you're tired. You ride until the city thins and the road opens. You throw the patch into a dark river and watch it vanish without a sound. You whisper the line you don't know you've been carrying for months. You don't own me. You only rented my fear. They don't come for you that night. They come for what you love. The depot job evaporates. Your truck dies in the parking lot. Your mom calls to say someone asked about you by name at her door. Isolation isn't a room. It's the way the world stops answering back. You stop telling people where you are. You stop using your name. You stop sleeping. The reckoning comes in the quiet hours. You replay every choice you told yourself was small. You count the times you could have walked away before the doors closed. You learn that harm doesn't need blood to be real. It just needs your consent, once, and then again. You leave the state on a bus with cash folded into your sock. You sit between strangers who don't know your face or your story. You watch the landscape change and let it take the man you were with it. Somewhere right now, a back room smells like oil and coffee. A blade flashes. A thread is cut. Someone smiles because that's what he's supposed to do. Inside, something in him locks. If this made you think, drop a comment. Subscribe for more.